This is a Brooklyn-bound A Express train. The next stop is 59th Street, Columbus Circle.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Styles stepping in. Let's not waste any time. This is not a performance. This is real. This is growth. The kind that don't show up overnight. The kind you earn through losses, late nights, and lessons nobody gave you the blueprint for. See, I didn't grow up seeing love in full color. I saw contracts, not connection. I saw people staying out of fear, not faith. Love wasn't gentle, it was survival. Just enough to get by, just enough to stay broken. So when you finally meet someone who ain't trying to break you but build you, that shit hits different. And yeah, it throws you at first. You question it, you test it, you almost sabotage it because peace feels foreign when all you've ever known was noise. But when it's real, when it sees you and don't flinch, you start moving different. You start growing different. I'm not here to sell dreams. I'm here to talk my truth, to speak on what it looks like when a man finally steps into what he's always meant to be, because someone believed in him before he believed in himself. This is for the ones who had to unlearn survival just to understand love. If that's you, yeah, let's talk.
Ever been left speechless by the ridiculousness of modern dating? Or maybe you're more old school. Yeah, like seriously, what were we thinking with those pickup lines in the 90s? This is I'll Explain All This Later, the podcast where we dissect the crazy world of relationships. From dating app disasters to in-law interventions, we'll cover it all. Now, some of our takes might be a little hot, but hey, that's what you get when you press play and tune in. We'll explain the logic behind it all. Eventually. Anyway, let's dive in.
All right, so look, right? Y'all already know what it is and what it's always going to be. Now, normally these episodes that I've been doing got a little different feel to it. I said this season was about growth, and this season was about me transforming my ways and transforming everything that I've been trying to do. This episode is no different. And tonight I just want to give y'all a taste of what does reflecting with your partner, what does reflecting your partner look like? And we're going to talk about it. I think it's going to be one of those episodes where you just got to time in. I basically wanted to tap into and give y'all some of my personal thoughts. Love. Let me tell y'all what love looked like for me growing up. Love, and I got this from my uncles, okay? My uncles, people that was around, they were all players. You know, women flock. My uncle settled down with my aunt, which was dope. My pops wasn't really the smoothest knife in the drawer. So I learned a lot of what I learned from the old school Max and the players and things like that. I didn't know what love really was until I got into my 30s, if we really gonna be technically honest. I was a playboy. I didn't believe in partnerships and all that type of stuff and leaning with your partner and looking out for each other and all of that. I had traces of that, but I didn't know what any of that stuff was, man. But I've been around some couples who did their thing, who had their own mentality, who grew together, who rose together and things like that. But as far as being inside my home growing up, I didn't see it. You know, my dad, like I said on a previous episode, has been married 3 times. My mom has been married twice. You know, by the time I was growing up, my mom and dad were separated, you know. And then my stepdad, he was around, but he wasn't around because, you know, he was doing his own thing. He was still in the streets. So I learned what love was by, you know, doing my own thing and learning by ear and playing by ear and getting that feel. When I turned 30, 31, 32, that's when love started really hitting me. That's when love really became a real thing for me. I didn't really know what love was until love found me. It takes you a while to find love. And when you do, you got to embrace it. You know, one of the things that I really should have taken the time to understand was what true partnership was. I didn't know what true partnership was until I got married. And then when I got married, it became surreal at times because at some point it was like, yo, this is what true partnership feels like. And then at another point, it's like, man, this ain't it. This ain't the way it's supposed to go. I don't like this. So I had, broken homes. I had, things like that. I grew up in a broken home in a sense because my mom's raised me and then she shipped me off to my pops and he tried to raise me, but by that time it was too late. The streets had already got to me. So I didn't really understand love and, gender roles and all those things. I didn't know those things. I had to learn that stuff by ear. And I'm not saying my mom's didn't do her best because she did, but it wasn't her responsibility to teach me how to be a man. And she did her best. And shout out to my moms. I love her. Very beautiful lady. Love was some sort of a tricky terrain for me. I didn't really know what love was. I think the thing that people seem to understand is just because something looks happy and something feels happy doesn't necessarily mean that it is happy. And that's how I came up in life. I watched couples fight. I watched couples argue. I watched couples get into it. But then I also watched them fight and pull and push and poke and probe and keep it together because that's what families do. And I had the most different family you could think of, but at the end of the day, I think we all loved each other and we all built each other and we all understood each other in a certain aspect. Like, so for me, when I ran into love, I already knew it was real because it was something different than I had already been through. I've never been through this feeling. So that was a different thing for me. And it took me a while to get to that point of letting someone close to me because as the man of my life, because I was my own man. I didn't have a partner. I had many partners, but they wasn't really partners. They was just there to get the getting while the getting was good. And then once the getting was good, we got to go ahead on and get you on up out of here because we getting too close. We got to cut this off. So that's what love was like growing up for me, man. I wanted that love, though. That love that you seen in the movies, that love that you see on TV, that love that you see them 20, 30-year marriages them people have. I wanted that. I really, truly wanted that. I had to have it. And it got to the point where if I'm going to have it, then I need to have it. I need to have it all the way. I don't need it to be nothing else. Like, I need this love right here. This is the love that I need, and I was going to strive to get it. So as we open up tonight's episode, I'm going to talk about being your partner's reflection. On the way to that, I have a few things I want to drop on to y'all. Sometimes it's very hard to unlearn old behaviors. It's very hard to unlearn what you know, what you've grew up knowing all your life. You always thought that this was the way, that what you was doing was the way, that how you moving is the way. And then someone comes along and teaches you something different. Not saying it's a better way, just a different way. And now, you got to start moving and grooving and looking at two people instead of just yourself. Because that's what a true partnership is. Whether I'm around you or not, that's what a partnership is. Whether I'm in your presence or not, that's what a partnership is. Like the morals and the values and the standards of how you carry yourself when I ain't around is what's going to build the foundation of what we're doing. I think it's just some of those things that you go through and you want to have that feeling and that emotion and that drive of love, and you just want to have it. And sometimes we get in these situations where we feel like we got love. We feel like this is love. We feel like what we're being taught is the right way to go. And all it does is hurt us. All it does is make us feel bad inside. But we feel like this is the way to go because this is how this person presented this love to us until we grow up and we start experiencing a different kind of love. We start experiencing a different feeling. We start experiencing things that we didn't necessarily feel like we was going to experience, but we did it anyway. And that's what the beauty of love was for me. That's what it was because I watched other people do things and then I said, yeah, that's not the mistake I wanted to make. The reflection that I'm talking about, it's not about putting on some kind of show for the outside world. It's not about trying to fit in somebody else's mold or what a good couple looks like, because experience is going to teach you to move your own way. But that's fake if you trying to move in the presence or the mode of someone else. That's fake. The real reflection that I'm talking about, it comes from a genuine connection that you and your partner got, okay? The way y'all move together authentically, like it's in sync. You can't teach that. You can't learn that. You either got it or you don't. When y'all moving as one and moving on one accord, you can't teach that. Money can't buy that. That has to come from a natural place of the heart and emotion. So you can't buy that. You know what I'm saying? It's about doing what feels right for your relationship. It's not about them down the street. It's not about them. It's not about Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's not about them. It's about what's right for you and that partner. The rhythms, the routines that work for y'all. Even if it ain't what everybody else is doing. I don't care what that couple down the street is doing. Big Smash has always moved to the beat of his own drum, and I've always had the standards and the morals of what my relationship is going to be because it was my standards and morals. What worked for that couple over there might not work for me, so I ain't even going to try it. I could take advice. I could hear you out. I could do all that stuff, but I like what I like, okay? You got to stay true to yourself. I'm the type that I want to stay true to myself. I ain't never changed up individually and as a couple. See, a lot of times people get together and then they act like, oh, well, I got to give up my whole life for this person. No, you don't. That's an unlearned behavior that needs to change because you don't have to give up your life just because you're dealing with someone. It's not how that works. That's not what being a true reflection is. What is we sat down, we came up with a plan, and we rolling with that. We don't care what the world say. We don't care what this say, my ex say, your ex say. We don't care about none of that because we too busy doing our own thing. That's how you move. You don't get caught up in trying to impress people. You don't get caught up in trying to impress your family and your friends or live up to some picture that ain't even real. The frame is going to stay the same. The pictures can move. You could change the pictures, but the frame is going to stay the same. The foundation is this. You are your partner and your partner is you. It's simple. You know, all jokes aside, the strength of that reflection comes from the bonds that you got. It comes from the bonds, and the bond has to be honest. It's the inside jokes that nobody gets but you and her or him and you. Y'all get it because y'all designed it. Y'all put it together. Y'all are the blueprint. You know, it's the quirky habits that y'all embrace together where y'all can just laugh and kick it. And, you know, y'all come up with y'all own codes and your own languages and your own things because that's how y'all move around. Y'all navigate through the challenges, you know, based on a shared understanding. It don't matter what I'm out here doing because I know I'm moving in the way that you want me to move. It don't matter what you're doing because I know that you're moving in a way that's conducive to what we're trying to do. And when you move in the world as an authentic unit, people are going to see it. It ain't going to be fake or hidden. They going to see it because they feel like, man, that's them right there. That's what they do. You know, they're going to see the genuine love and respect that y'all got for each other. You know, the comfort and ease you have with each other, y'all. Everything just feels so natural and real because it's not forced. It's not faked. That's a reflection that's way more powerful than any forced smile. Like, you can tell when couples be faking it to make it. You can tell. We seen it. You know, we could tell when couples fake it to make it and they ain't really with each other. I'm not about having a borrowed persona. I don't want to be Jay-Z and Beyonce. I don't want to be Denzel and his girl. I don't want to be the Huxtables or nothing like that. I just want to be Big Smash and my partner. That's who I want to be. You know, everybody grew up in life and they was, oh, I want to be like this and that. Not me. Not me. I just want to be me. I just want to relax and do my own thing and sit back in the cut and chill and kick my feet up. And for 30-something years, I was that person. I just really turned a straight and narrow in the last 8 years. I'm not going to lie. I never get on here and lie. I wasn't always the straightest, narrowest, loyalest, faithfulest, honest dude in the world. I wasn't. But now I feel like, man, I want true partnership. I want something that fits me, my unity, my reflection. It's got to be real. It's got to be rooted in who you are. It has to be you. It can't be anybody else. And that's what I had to live and grow and adapt to because I didn't have them type of loves around me. Love is not a job. It could be a career. It could be a hobby. It could be something you love doing, but love shouldn't be a job. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be a job. And it took me a long time to start reflecting and being the man that I set out to be, because at one point I was a man, I'm going to say whatever I can to get whatever I want. And even the times when I knew I screwed up, there would be times where I know I fucked up and I still would not straighten up. I didn't care if you left because I felt like I'm going to get somebody else in here regardless. But I wanted to be the man that I wanted to be first. And then I could be the man that my partner wanted me to be. Because if I'm not loving me as a person, there's no way I can lead a woman. There's no way I can lead my relationship. There's no way I can lead my household, because I can't even lead myself. So I had to switch that. I had to change that. I had to grow from that. I had to build from that. And once I started building from that, I already knew what type of time it was. Because once, listen, fellas, a woman will follow you. A woman will follow you if you are leading her somewhere. If you are leading her to a brick wall, I'm telling you, she might crash into that wall with you once or twice. But then after that, it's like, yo, I don't want to keep crashing. These limbs are fragile. I had to go through a lot of mistakes. I went through a lot. I went through so many mistakes in my marriage that it humbled me. It humbled me badly, because I made all this seem like, man, I got the woman. I ain't got to do nothing. She going to be here. She got my back. I can lie. I can cheat. I could disrespect the ring and the vows, and she's still going to stay because it's for better or for worse. And the truth be told, all that did was start pushing her out the door. I think I had a humbling moment in about relationships when I always thought like my penis was going to get me out of every situation. And for a minute it did. It really went that way. And then it started wearing off on her. It wasn't working for her. And then the other relationships that I had before that I really cared about, it stopped working for them. So then it became, you got this super penis. Now you don't. You know what I'm saying? Because this shit ain't working no more. What else can you do? What else can you bring? What else do you got? And a lot of times I had to humble myself, because she asked me that. She like, okay, you got a dick. What else do you have? That's not going to keep me. That's not going to keep this relationship, this marriage, this household, these kids. That's not going to do that. See, I had elevated and became something different after that conversation. Something inside of me broke. And that was a humbling ass moment for me, man. I had made so many mistakes. I did not recognize who I was back in those days. Like, I did not recognize who I was. I was looking in the mirror and I saw me, but I didn't see me. It wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't me. And it sucked, because I believe that this was the moment in my life where everything changed and my outlook on relationships changed. Here's my hook question, right? I want y'all to think about this. And then, when y'all find time, drop a comment, man, and let me know what y'all thinking. Think about the first time somebody expected more from you emotionally. How did you react? Did you rise or did you retreat?
Look, just because you're walking alone doesn't mean you're not carrying someone with you. When the love is real, you don't need to say it, it shows. In the way that you speak, the way that you move, the way that you hold space, people feel it before you say a word. You're not just repping yourself anymore. You're repping the one that stands beside you. They don't just see you, they see her fingerprints, how she helps smooth the rough edges, the patience, the grace, the accountability, which is wild. Cause she'll tell it like you was the only one in need of growing. But we gonna let that one breathe. So if you moving messy, talking reckless, acting like your last name ain't attached to something solid, just know your slip-ups hits her too. Her name gets caught in crossfire, and that's not how kings move. This ain't about shrinking yourself or playing soft. This is about honor. This is about discipline. Real love don't need an audience, it just needs consistency. So before you react, ask yourself, would she salute how I handled that? Or would she hit me with the cold side eye like, yo son, you done? If her values ain't echoing through your actions, you're not building. You're just holding a title. And me, I don't do placeholders. I build legacies. Smash, go ahead and take this before I really start telling the truth.
When it happened to me, and I knew she was walking out the door. I knew she was leaving. I knew she was done. I knew it. I seen that shit months before it happened. It was like she stayed because she still believed that I would change. She believed that I would get it right. And then I started feeling like I knew that she was leaving. And I should have rose to the occasion, and I didn't. I definitely retreated. And it sucked. It really did, because all she wanted me to be was something tailor-made for her. Lead this household, lead this team, lead this family the right way. And I massively dropped the ball. I don't think about it as much now because shit over with. But I realized at the time that I could have prevented a lot of things that happened, and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. I definitely cowered up and became the same old Smash that motherfuckers always thought I was gonna be. They didn't think that, when I got married, people didn't think it was gonna last, because they was like, you getting married? You? Oh yeah, good luck with that shit. So I didn't really have, most of it down pat. I was supposed to lead with honor, with love, with dignity. I was supposed to lead with respect. And I didn't. I ain't gonna flex. You know what I'm saying? At home, I was as close to perfect as I could be. But in the streets, oh, you let me roam? Oh, I'm out here. Man, I was doing everything under the sun but being true to my vows, man. And I got to tell you, it did not make me feel good. Because once I came to my senses, it was like, yeah, you fucking up, dog. Like, this your marriage. You fucking up. Like, this your relationship. You fucking up. These women out here, they gave you children. You fucking up. You messing around on people that will literally do anything and everything for you. You're fucking up. This ain't a rise moment, nigga. You are retreating. This ain't a rise moment. My hustle was my way to heal. I hustled. I grinded. I put everything in. I didn't have time to be in tune with my feelings and lead a family and do all that. And then, I had to adapt to that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had to adapt. I ain't gonna flex. This was one of the things that I had to go through is, I had to learn that I was rolling with somebody. It ain't about holding hands and sharing laughs and the sunshine. You become a whole nother entity. Like, it's you and it's them, but then it's an us. It was a different movement. It was a we that stretched out even when y'all ain't standing side by side. So you vibing on the same frequency kind of thing. You caught up in the middle of the storm. You're still a reflection of that person, whether y'all doing good or bad. You are still that reflection. You can't change up because things are doing bad. I just told y'all that on the last episode. Because things are going bad don't mean you change up. It ain't about what folks and how they see y'all and how y'all moving around and how people come up with their own opinion of y'all. It's about you. It's in you. It's in how you move. It's in how you talk. It's in the whole energy you put out there in public and behind closed doors. Because private and public, how you carry yourself in public is a reflection of how you carry yourself in private, if that makes sense. Understanding that every unbroken mirror, because there are some mirrors that will never be completely fixed. They might have cracks in it, and you could patch them up and do all that. And, when things are good, that reflection, it's something to be proud of. It's out of this world. It's mind-blowing. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, man, listen, when I found love, I was excited. I was like, yes, shorty is going to be the one. And then 2 days later, it was, damn, why the fuck I pick her? We moving like a team. The way we looking at each other, the little jokes, like I said earlier, the way we stand up for each other, it's a picture. It paints a picture for everybody else. You are the ambassador. You are representing that team. Every time you walk out the house, you are representing that team. When you at work, you represent that team because temptation is everywhere. When you out with your guys or your girls, you are representing that team because temptation is everywhere. There's a certain way you're supposed to move, and there's a certain way you're supposed to act to not just respect yourself, but respect your partner. You know, you show kindness when you stand for something real. You know, it reflects back on your partner. Show the world the kind of love and respect that you building inside your home. You building that. And in private, the mirror should get clearer. The late night talks, the support when things get rough, the way y'all see eye to eye on what matters. It builds a solid reflection that can't nobody take away. It's a safe space. And that's how you moving. You're moving with your safe space. That mirror gets cracked. It ain't just when good times are fading is when it gets cracked. That mirror can get cracked at any time. It could be an accident that it got cracked. You know, even when y'all arguing, when distance creeps in, the reflection is still there. It's just looking a little different. How you manage that difference is up to y'all as a couple. You ain't supposed to never show tension in public. You ain't never supposed to be fake in public. The short answers, the tight smiles, the way y'all avoid touching each other because y'all mad at each other. Nobody should see the kinks in your armor. Your relationship is yours. Nobody should see the issues in your relationship because you're not putting that out there for anybody to make fun of, to laugh, or to put out there and put fake news out about you. You talking to a man that's went down that road. I had everything in my hands. I had the whole world in my hands. And then one small mistake took everything away from that. I remember that. I was there. I was not being a good reflection of my partner that night. Fucked me up. You know, I shouldn't have never got on live and acted the way that I did. And it doesn't matter who said what or what they said or what they feel happened. It was just the fact that I allowed that situation to get on to a public platform. And that was another thing that fucked it up. But yeah, those rough patches, the way y'all be moving, you got to move in a certain way. And it just be like that. All right, so you are your partner's reflection even when you're solo. What I mean by that is whatever moves that you make by yourself should come with the mind frame of how is this going to affect my partner? How is this going to affect us as a whole and us as individually? Because your mistakes that you make yourself can reflect on your partner. You ain't thinking just about yourself. You're thinking about your partner. My behavior in public at times can be a little too much for just the ordinary partner. Like, especially when I get on these microphones and I get to talking my talk, you know, you got to be a really, really strong person to deal with that. But I also had to know how to have the limits and the boundaries and what to say on these microphones. Because at the end of the day, yes, I'm a big deal. Absolutely. But I still have to have respect and understanding for my partner and my household because I don't want that shit to come back landing on them. You know, so I had to learn that. That was, you know, we were being graded based off of my actions, off the way that I talk, off the way that I was moving. We were getting graded. And a lot of people had us failing. We might have been fine off this microphone. We might have been cool, but the way that I was moving in these podcast streets will make a motherfucker grade us very poorly. So I had to learn. I had to balance. I had to change that. It's a difference between repping your partner and wearing a title with no weight behind it. Like, I'm all for you. I believe in us. I'm riding with you. You my lady. You my love, and I'm here. But then I'm out here cheating. I'm out here lying. I'm out here fucking around. That's wearing the title with no weight on it because I love being with you. I love coming home to you. I love cooking with you and eating with you, fucking you, all that other good shit. I love that shit. But I'm out here moving around like I'm single. That's wearing the title with no weight behind it. Really repping your person is you repping your person. You ain't out here falling for temptation. A motherfucker, hey, you got a girl? Hell yeah, I got a girl. Love her to death. Fuck out my face. Standing on business, standing on all 10 toes, standing and handling your business for your woman, for your mate, for your partner. That's what is repping your fucking partner. See, a lot of times people get out in the streets and they lose control. You know what I'm saying? What Cardi say? It's 7:45. What was that, Glorilla? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's 95 degrees, all that shit. So the whole switch up, and then you go home and you being the perfect mom and the perfect woman and the perfect man and perfect husband, perfect family. But in these streets, you out here fucking. Hey, listen, you talking to the master of that shit. I was the master of that shit. I'm not going to flex to you. I was the happy, wholesome, loving. I love my family. Everywhere I go, y'all remember them days, man. For those that been here, I was repping my lady everywhere I went. But behind, DMs and in the streets and at work and everything else, I was repping it. Oh, everybody knew I was married. But I still was out here doing my thing and flirting and telling motherfuckers that they the one and they got a chance and all this other shit. So I was there. I had to go through a thing where I was a show out. Oh, I could show my ass off. But then when it came to my family, I was not showing up. I was not being the man that I was supposed to be to my partner. I wasn't showing up. I believed in more in showing out than I did show up. I was out here wilding, and it was always for the world and for podcasts, and I could do this and I could do that, and I'm out here. But, for her, it was, I get to it. I see what I can do. I see if I can handle it. I see if I can get to it. And I made a lot of mistakes, man. Like, I did not move in the way that I was supposed to because that bond is supposed to be a little different. That bond of love is supposed to be a little different. And for me, it wasn't different. I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. I was hurt. And I moved as such. But I was selfish because I didn't think about what any of this was doing to the family. I was just worried about me. I was really out here being managed. And I didn't think about what it was doing to her or my previous relationships. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I ain't telling y'all this, because I want to, but I'm telling y'all this because it happened. It's what I felt. I think now, like, when they came around me, I think truly I embarrassed her quite a lot. And I get it, man. My ego was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I walked around and moved around like I was the best. My egos was crazy, and my pride fucked up my house. I ain't gonna lie to you. My pride fucked up my house because I was Big Smash to the world, and she really just wanted me to be me to her. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't separate the two. I definitely feel like I sabotaged and ruined a lot of my relationships. I do. I feel that way. And it sucked because if I had been moving the way that I was moving or the way that I presented myself when we was moving, I think a lot of this shit would have been different. So let me tell y'all this, right? Next time, here's another hook. Next time y'all about to wild out, ask yourself, am I honoring the foundation that we set? I know this girl got a big ass booty and she looking good and she looking thick, but I got what I got at home. So am I honoring us by pursuing this or I'm embarrassing us? Hey man, listen, my lady been doing real good. She been doing her thing. Let me take her out on a date and buy her a ring or some roses or something like that. Am I honoring us or am I embarrassing us by doing that? Ask yourself that. Real love doesn't look like what they do on IG posts, and it doesn't look like buying material things. It looks like consistency. You're always there with your partner. You're always there for them every step of the way. When they sick, when they healthy, when they down, when they out, when they up, when they down. You always there. You always are there. You're never switching up. You're never changing up. You're there. That's what showing up looks like. You're there every step of the way. All right? You find out the things that are important to them, and you push yourself to be of importance to that scenario. It's not about showing up when it's convenient or showing up when you think you benefit something from it. Love isn't on a payroll. You're not getting paid in cash to show love. There is a payout, though. There's definitely a payout when it comes to love because you're going to get every feeling that you ever really deserve because that's what you deserve. It's about showing up consistently day in and day out. When you mad, when y'all into it, when y'all broke, when y'all hungry, when y'all in and out. It's about showing up regardless of the situation. I think a lot of times I looked at for validation in private and in public. Like, I really wanted you to acknowledge that I was married, that I was in love, that I was happy, and you had to acknowledge that shit. And like I said, there was times that wasn't the case, and it was scary. It was really, really scary when, the way that I was moving again wasn't conducive to what we were doing as a unit. So, yeah, it took me a while to mature into the headspace that I'm in now. All right, now I pretty much got a gist of how I want to carry myself, how I want to move when I'm in a relationship, and how I'm going to act, and how I'm going to grind, and how I'm going to grow. I pretty much want to move that way. I pretty much have to move as a man. I can't move as a little boy anymore, because being moved as a little boy got me five baby mamas, 8 kids, which I love. It got me divorced before I really even fully got married. It got me starting my life over again at 38. It got me lost. I was lost for a minute, dog. Like, I was super lost, and I didn't know how to be found, and I didn't know if I wanted to be found. So emotional maturity, you got to have that for your partner. You have to. You have to have that headspace that they can believe in you. No matter whatever situation comes, they can believe in you, and they're going to trust that you got their back, and you're going to make the right decision because you are a capable leader. And that's what I wanted to be. That's what I'm striving to be now. I want to be the very capable leader. I want to be the person that leaves this earth with a legacy that cannot be touched. I want you to look back, and when my kids look at me, man, my pops was my hero. My pops was that guy. He showed up every chance he had, he put into us. He was there. I want my lady to be like, man, he was a little rough around the edges, but he loved and he led and he carried us the way that a man is supposed to. I want my family and friends to be like, man, Smash is a good dude. He's a damn good dude, man, and he supported and he showed out and he showed love and he led us the right way. He didn't come with bullshit. He didn't just tell us whatever we wanted to hear. Smash was a true blue icon. He was the greatest. He was the greatest podcast I ever met in my life. I just love Big Smash. He was that guy, blah, blah, blah. Shit, the Big Smash rub really changed my life. Shit like that. He was a solid dude. And that's how I feel like you should be with your partner, man. Be solid, be thorough, be understanding, be respectful, be loving, be the person that you're supposed to be for your partner and for yourself. Listen, real love is built in science, tested in chaos, and proven by how you move when nobody's watching. Are you passing that test? It's another hook question. Are you passing that test? Are you moving in a way that screams, that's the couple right there. They really love each other. I see them making it real far. This is what you got to do. This is what you got to believe in. This is what you got to understand. This is how you got to grind. This is how you got to grow. This is how you going to get it. This is how you get it, Smash. You come in the right way. Treat that queen like she's something. She going to treat you like you something. I see you, playboy. You know how when you walk to the uncle and your uncle be like, when you at the cookout, I see you, nephew. That's how I want to be. But not just for the world, but that's how I want to be for me and her. I want us to look at each other and be like, yeah, y'all got this. Y'all got this. That's how I want my lady to look at me. Like, I want her to believe in me. I have confidence in me that no matter where I'm at, we gonna get it together. We gonna fix it. And I get mad when I can't fix shit. But in my mind, my wheels is already turning because I want to fix this. Real talk.
Holding yourself to a higher standard when you're standing behind love, that ain't performance. That's presence. That's grown. That's sacred. It's not about matching pajamas or posting captions. It's about moving with care, even when they're not in the room. It's about being the version of you they saw when you ain't see it in yourself. That's intention. That's elevation. You don't pop off over cold eggs or flex for strangers. Real ones move like somebody's watching, even when nobody is. And nah, it ain't about being soft. It's about knowing your power and choosing peace over pride every fucking time. That kind of love don't need a spotlight. It don't shout. It shows up. quiet, consistent, solid. That's how legacies are built. Not for likes, for life. Pizza Smash for opening the door and holding space for the kid. And if you want more of that good grown talk, tap in with me and my sis Blsd Jess on Hustle and Heal Podcast. We talk hustle, we talk healing, we talk real, every damn day.
This is the last stop on this train. Everyone, please leave the train. Thank you for riding with S3E8 New York City Transit.
All right, man, listen. Shout out to my boy Styles, man, for coming through with the narration, man, and dropping some gems. You know, he probably the only dude I know that could drop some real gems that I actually sit back and listen to. And, you know what I'm saying? Because when he talk, a lot of times I don't be having no feedback for the nigga because the nigga so wise and wisdom. I call him the old graded bearded wisdom one. So shout out to my boy, man. Sometimes you got to have these conversations. I'll explain all this later. We try to dive into this shit, man. I told y'all in the hook line. And we try to dive into these relationships and get y'all motivated enough to not make the same mistakes that I made, but to be better. You know, love is about toughness and tolerance. You gotta have both. You gotta have both. You gotta have thick skin. You gotta have tough skin. You can't run every time something don't look like. You know, you gotta move as one. I'm moving how my girl is moving. My girl moving how I'm moving. When I ain't around, I believe she could handle her. She can hold her own because I already gave her the keys to the game on how to move around in these streets. So, man, you know, I take it in that. Take the time to be your partner, not just perform and put on a show, but take the time to be your partner. Be the partner that you want. Real talk. Be solid. You ain't always got to be seen. You ain't always got to look around and oh, look at me. You know how the kids be like, Dad, Mom, look at me. And they don't do shit but jump off a stair or some shit. It ain't just my kids, goddammit. Listen, everybody out here listening, please take the time to like, comment, DM me a moment that you realized that you were growing through love. Real talk. All right, man, listen, final takeaways from the night. Real love doesn't just find you, it forms you. It creates you. It creates a person that you are. It builds, you are building a foundation, and it starts with you. Who you are in private says more than who you pretend to be in public. If I move over here and I move out here, best believe I'm moving the same way in private. I ain't changing up. You know, I learned that. I can't be two different people. You got to be yourself in both avenues. Repping your partner is about protection. They trust that you're going to lead them the right way. They trust that you're going to have their back. They trust that they can rely and count on you no matter what. Healthy love isn't loud. You ain't got to be all loud and rambunctious out here to prove that you in love or to prove that you got love. Your actions going to speak. Make it intentional. Make it steady. And it's going to make you better. All right, man, listen. Big love to Styles for tapping in with me on I'll Explain all of this later. I appreciate the real talk, the gems, the help. Like, this brother has really helped us get our grown man clarity on. And if you want more of that dual energy magic, check out the Hustle and Heal podcast with Styles and Miss Blsd Jess. They break down love, business, and the mess in between every damn day. Y'all already know what it is. I'll see y'all next week, man. Like, subscribe, share. Tell a friend, and they gonna tell a friend. Big Smash got something to say. Y'all already know what it is. I'm out.
Thanks for listening to I'll Explain All This Later. Please like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And join us again next time for more outlandish takes on relationships and the dating life.